Welcome everyone to Just a Smoker by ZZ Top. I want to mention before things get started, I don't know if you noticed, but I monetized my channel, meaning I put some ads in during the beginning. If you would be so kind to just let them play, that makes me a little cash. I really debated on doing this, and I won't go into it too much because the only reason I do this is to help other people. But you know, I'm not getting any younger, and all these years I've spent buying equipment, this will definitely help. So, enough of that. Beer Drinkers Hellraisers, 1973. Alright, boy, this is really a cool song. I learned some new chording off it, and I'll teach you that. It's a basic blues in G minor, and again, Reverend Billy adds his little twist to it, so we'll go over all the little nuances. Of course, I've written this out. My notes will be below if you want to follow along with the notes. Alright, so this is G minor blues, so we'd be playing a G minor chord. For the 1, the 4 would be a C minor, and the D, the 5 chord, would be a D minor. See how they fall right below each other? Real typical of blues if you look at the fretboard that way. We'll be playing in G minor pentatonic. So in multiple positions. So if there's anything you do, learn the pentatonic scale in all the different positions. It'll take you much further than just figuring out these notes. Alright, so what I learned in this song, he plays a G minor quite different. I've watched him play this live. I'm like, how the hell is he doing this? Okay, what I figured out is he's on the G string, of course muting the 5th string, and then on the 4th and 3rd string. So it's really a G minor 7, okay, because he's playing, and a 7th is fine to play when you're in a minor. It sounds good. Just take up that one note. Okay, but anyhow, so we're on the 3rd fret of the 6th string, 3rd fret of the 4th and 3rd string. That is making up our G. I'm just going to call it that is making up our G minor 7th. Okay, so with that said, we can move that up to the 8th fret, C, okay, which would be right below G if we were playing a typical blues progression where you go below and then next 2 for the 5. But you can go up to 8 for the C, and even if you want to the 10th fret to do that style of chord at the 10th fret. I don't see him doing that in this video or in the videos I've watched. He mostly goes to another form, which I'll talk about that next, off the 5th string. So let's get started with how we actually play this. The key to playing this is really bouncing back and forth off the root note, that 6th, kind of palm muted, and the 4th and 3rd string. So we're going to go 2 root notes and then to the 4-3. Then you stop, okay? And again, this is very fast, so it's a, and then you're back into the next. The next part of the measure, we're going to do down, up, down on the 6th string muted, or the root note muted, back to that 4-3. And we'll do that 2 more times, so a total of 3. And the last time, again, this is Reverend Billy, he just shakes it up. We're just going to hit the root note once and the 4-3 twice. Alright, so very slowly, this is what we have. So I know it's one of those things, and playing with these guys, especially the speed they, you know, whether they recorded it at that speed, it's pretty quick. Okay, so you get the feel for that, work up to it, download Riff Station, load the song into it, slow it down, and you'll be able to play with it. If you're not familiar with Riff Station, you can get the software link below and download it, and there's YouTube videos on how to use it that'll really show you. It's great to play along with. Alright, so the intro starts out with that measure. Alright, we got the 2, and then the note, then 3, then the notes. I'm just going to call it that. We'll do that 3 times. And then once on the root note and twice on the notes. Alright, after that we're going to do another set of it, but shortened. Instead of 2 sets of 3 on the root note to the 4-3, we're going to do just 2. So we'll do the intro with the root note once, and I'm sorry, twice, and then the 4-3. At that point, you let off, and then you go 3-4-5. Then you go, that's on the 5th string, to the 4th string, 3 pulled off to open. And then you grab, and this is really a muted note. I struggled with this. I wasn't sure if it was the G or the F. And I settled on the G just because it's so muted, and watching Billy do this live, he doesn't move up to an F or play any other notes. He's right here. So I'm pretty sure it's just a G, really kind of referenced because it's palm muted. It's so fast. Alright, so we got 3-4-5 on the 5th string. 4th string, 3 open, pulled off, and then we're going to strike the 6th string at the 3rd fret, muted, and then right back to the 3rd fret of the 3rd string. And then we're back into the rhythm, which actually starts the verse, and we'll go through that next. So each verse is the same. What we're going to do is the first measure of the intro 3 times. All right, so we'll do twice on the root note to the 4-3, then 3 sets of 3 on the root note to 4-5 or 4-3. And then 1 set of root note to the 4-3 twice. Alright, so 3 times through. I'm going to take you through this medium speed. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we stop on a G note, okay? And then you'll hear the 4th string 5-3. Some vibrato on that 3rd fret. Okay, and then we're actually into the chorus. All right, so the chorus starts out on the 4. So it'd be a C minor 7th. All right, but he goes up, and watching him live, he plays this consistently at this point at the 8th fret on the root note and the 4th and 3rd 8th. So the key to this is we're doing, once we're to the 8, it's going to be 2 root notes in one, and then 3 sets of root note and 4/3, and then 1 each of the root note in the 4/3. And then he kind of, I don't know that he slides down, but you know, you go back down to the 3rd fret. So that chorus starts out 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we're back to the 3rd, or our first measure. We're going to do that one time through, and the ending will just be a 3 on the root note, just like we did on the C7 to 4/3 once. So it'll sound like this. Because then we're moving to the 5. This is the turnaround, okay? So the 5 would be a D chord. D minor, or yeah, D minor 7. Another way you could do it would be up a 10 on the root note in the 4/3. Move down and so forth. But what I noticed Billy does is he uses a 5th root minor 7th. So I'm going to show you the difference. Again, it's a new way of playing this chord to me, and I think it's fantastic. So I'll show you that chord next. What Billy does with this C minor 7th is he's taking off the ring finger, all right, and not playing the 4th string. So it looks very similar to the Hendrix chord, the C 7th sharp 9th. The only difference is we're keeping that 4th string from ringing, okay? So you can lay your 3rd finger against it, but the 3rd string at the 3rd fret and the 2nd string at the 4th fret are making up what would normally be the minor 7th, okay? But we're playing the root, the 3rd string, and the 2nd string, keeping that 4th string muted. So when he goes into this as the turnaround, what you want to do is hit the root note again twice, and then the chord, and then a 3 strike on the root note in the chord, and then move it down to the C. This would be a C 7th minor, C minor 7th, and then to our G. So we have this C minor 7th, and we have this minor 7th. Just different inversions of playing the chord. I'm ecstatic to learn this, because I think it's just a fantastic tool to have in the toolbox. So, sorry if I go on about it, but our turnaround then is 5 and then to 3. And then we do the... Alright, we're used to that part. So there's our chorus. We got the turnaround, we've done the notes, now we're back into verse 2. Verse 2, just like verse 1, we're going to do that very first measure 3 times. Do that 3 times, and then our stop on the G note, and then the 5th fret of the 4th string to the 3rd fret. Then we come back up to our C minor 7th here. So, wow, that's the rhythm. That's the verse and the chorus and the intros. Just smoking. Billy is, laying into it. I have to say, the more you relax, I found with my fretting hand and even the picking with that stuttering constantly, the easier it gets. So don't press down too hard and work so hard. That's not going to work. Just take it easy. Okay? And build up the speed. It's not going to come overnight. That's why I've been working on this all week. I've been playing this every day for 3-4 hours. All right, let's get into the solo rhythm next. So after the second chorus, we're into the solo. So let's go over the solo rhythm. Basically, we're going to do the verse, the 3 measures. We'll do that 3 times, and then when we hit the G string to stop, that's when we do stop. We don't do the, because you'll hear the break in the solo. Okay, that's when they stop. So again, 3 times through. This is the last time through. Now we're into the chorus, what would be the chorus. So we're going to start up at the 8. Back to 3. And then our 5, back down to 3. Then back to 3, and this time we'll do the notes. Then it's kind of like the second part of the solo comes in at that point. Okay. So again, the solo will start out again with 3 measures, just like the rhythm. It'll stop on 3, and then again you'll hear the second break of the solo where he goes. Okay, and then you're back in, starting at the C minor 7th. Then coming back to G. Alright, and then you'll go to the notes, and that ends the solo. Then you're into, there's a 3rd verse and then a 3rd chorus. The 3rd verse is just like all the other verses, including the G stop. Okay, so we have 3 of these. Then we stop on the G. Okay, then we're into the 3rd chorus. All right. After the 3rd chorus, we go into the outro rhythm. The outro rhythm is simply the very first measure over and over again. So it'll sound like this. Over and over and over again. So, until it fades out. So that is all the rhythm. We're going to go over the solo next, and you'll have the whole songs. All right, the first measure, first 3 measures of the solo, which includes the break, first break lick will sound like this. Alright, so what we're doing there is we're going to hit on the first string 6 to 8. The 8 will be 4 times, but you want to listen to the timing. Then we're going to hit 6 to 8 again, 8 on that second string. Then we're going to come back 6, hitting 8, pulling off to 6 on the second string, to 7 on the 3rd string, back to 6. Then we're going to take 7 on the 3rd string, strike that, slide back to 7, grab the 3rd fret, and then the 5th fret of the 4th string twice. Alright, so this first measure all together slowly. 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright, so the second measure of the solo comes in. We're going to go on the 3rd fret of the 3rd string to 5, bend up, catching 3 on the 2nd to 3 on the 1st. Then we're going to slide with our pinky from 6 to 8 on the 2nd string. Then come back to the 1st string, 6 to 8 twice on the 2nd string. So we have this so far for the second measure. Then we go 6 on the 2nd string to 7, and then 8 on the 2nd string to 7 on the 3rd. Then come back to the 1st string, 6 to 2nd string 8 with a little bit held. Alright, so that second little part, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now we're going to do that 6, 7, 8, 7 again. Then we'll go 6, 8 on the 2nd string, 6, 8 on the 1st string with a bend. Then it stops, and then the break, and you'll hear this. Alright, so what we're doing there is we're going to hit 5 on the 3rd string, bend up to, and then release to 3. To 5, 3 on the 4th string. So we have this. Then we kind of start this little stutter, if you will, from the 4th string at the 5th fret down to the 3rd string twice real quick. And then one more time on the 3rd string at the 5th fret. Back to the 4th string at 5. So we have this so far. And then there's a ghost note, and then you hit 3. So just hit it muted, and then the 3rd fret on the 4th string. Alright, so let's go through the ghost note from the 5 on the 4. And then catch open 3rd string, 5 pulled off to 3, back to open on the 3rd string. Do that on the 4th string, 5, 3, pulled off to open, and then end up on 3 on the 5th string. That's the first break, and then we're kind of into the next part of the solo. Next part of the solo, after the break, Billy does a little tapping, pre-Eddie Van Halen. This was 1973, so way before Van Halen, but again, it was just something he learned and incorporated. So the next measure of the solo. Okay, so man, it's cool. We're gonna slide or take the 3rd position. Take the 5th string, bend that up, and then just kind of mute it, but hold it bent, and then hit the 6th string. Then hit the 5th fret of that 3rd string and release it. So we have this. Then we go to the 3rd fret, back to 5 on the 3rd string, to the 5th on the 4th string. Now we go 3, 5, bend that up, and then we're going to tap on it of the 3rd string and pull off. As you release that, you're going to hit 3. Okay, 5 bent up to 3 on the second and first string, 6 to 3 pulled off twice on the second string, ending up on 5 on the third. So we have this. Then we go 3 on the second string to third string, and then 5 on the fourth to fifth string. Then what we're going to do is take the 3rd fret of the 4th string, hammer on to the 4th fret, and end up on 5 on the 5th string. Alright, so let's take it from that bend to the 2nd string 3s. Then you end up on that same note, a D note, on the 3rd string, or 2nd string 3rd fret. Alright, so let's take it together slowly. 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright, the next measure will sound like this. Okay, the next measure will sound like this. Alright, so basically we're hitting 5 to 3 on the 3rd string. Then we're going to hit 5 bent and 5 unbent 4 times. Then we go to 3 to 5 on the 4th string. Back to the 3rd string, 3 to 5 bent up, and then 3 on the 1st or 2nd and 1st string. Then 6 to 3 on the 1st string. Then just roll up to the 3rd on the 2nd string and 5 on the 3rd string. Back to 3 on the 2nd, 3 on the 3rd, 5 on the 4th, 5 on the 5th. So you're kind of rolling through. Okay, and then we're into the next measure. Alright, the next measure will sound like this. Alright, so what we're doing there, again, another hammer on. We're starting out at the 3rd position, bending up the 3rd string 5th fret to the 2nd string 3s, at 1st string 3. Then we're going to grab 6, slide up to 8, and hit it again. Then we're going to hit 6 on the 1st string twice, back to 8. Alright, so we have this so far. Then he comes back in with the 6 on the 2nd string to 7, 8 on the 2nd string, back to 7 on the 3rd. Then we come to the 6 on the 1st string with a slight bend, to 8 on the 2nd string, 7 on the 3rd string, back to 8 on the 2nd string. Alright, get ready for the tap. What we're going to do here now is hit 6 to 8 on the 1st string with a bend up, and then we're going to tap on the 13th fret and pull off. Then we release it to 6, okay, and then we hit 8 bent, back to 8 unbent, then 6 on the 1st string to 8, and then end up on 8 on the 2nd string. Okay, so that last section. Alright, now we're into the next break. Now this second break is not the same as the first, so don't mistake or play that same lick, which you could. Nobody know the difference. But again, it'll sound like this. Alright, so what we're doing there is we're hitting the third string 5 bent up, and then we hit 3 unbent. 5 to 3 again on the third string, ending up on 5 on the 4th string. Then our little stutter notes, which will be 2 quickly on the 3rd string, 5th fret, and 1 more time. Then we go to the 3rd fret of the 4th string, hit that once, and then once again into 5. It's not a pull on, but alright, so it'll be like this. Then we just go to the open 3rd string. This is the same. Slide 5 pulled off to 3 to open on the 3rd, and 5 to 3 pulled to open on the 4th, ending on the 3rd fret of the 5th string. So all together, 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright, after that break lick, these next 2 measures will take us out into the 3rd verse and 3rd chorus. Alright, so it'll sound like this. Okay, so this lick will start out 5 on the 3rd string, and then 5 bent up to the 3rd fret of the 2nd and 1st string, back to 6, sliding up to 8 on the 2nd string. Then we come into our 6 on the 2nd, 7 on the 3rd, 8 on the 2nd, back to 7 on the 3rd. Then we're going to walk through that. We're going to go 6 on the 1st, 8 on the 2nd, 7 on the 3rd. Back to 3rd fret of, or I'm sorry, 2nd string, 8th fret, holding that. Alright, so we have this so far. Then we're going to come to 6 with a strike of 8 and a bend. It's almost like he does that pick harmonic. And then 6 to 8 on the 1st to 2nd string. Then we're going to go 6 to 8 bend up on the 2nd string, back to 6. End up on 7 twice with the little vibrato the 2nd time. Then we're going to do this, it's a slide move into these little pull-offs, okay? So we're going to hit 6 on the 2nd string to 7 on the 3rd string, slide that to 9, and then with our first finger catch 8. That 8 is our takeoff point, okay? Because we're going to pull off from 11 to 8 on the 2nd string, land on 10 on the 3rd string. Alright, so we have this. I'm just going to take it from the beginning. That 2nd 8 has a little vibrato to it. Then we're going to hit 8 again on the 2nd string to 10 on the 1st string, back to 8 on the 2nd. And then we end the lick on the 11th fret of the 1st string, bent up and release 3 times. Then we're into the verse. So that is the whole solo. We'll go over the outro solo. I figured out probably 95% of it. Some of it, when he's in this upper range, it gets a little kludgy. But anyhow, I've given you some licks, and my favorite thing to do is just solo in the G minor pentatonic or blues scale, and you know, it'll sound great. So the outro solo is going to start out first string 15, 18 on the second. We're going to do a unison bend, so we'll be bending up that 18. He'll do this 8 times. The last time just has a little extra vibrato on it. Alright, and then you move back to the third position. Okay, so for that, what we're going to do is hit the first string at 3rd fret, the second string at 3rd fret, then 6, slide up to 8. Then we're going to go 6 to 8, bend up. Here we go with our hammer or our tapping. He does this 24 times, or what is that? 4 measures. All right, so it's just really. So you're bending up, tapping, releasing, bending up. It's just really a technique that, you know, he has down. And again, 24 times you do that. Then you're back to 6 and 8, 6 on the first string to 8 on the second and 6. And then we're going to do some more pull-offs and hammer, or pull-offs to another note. So it'll be 8 pulled off on the second string to 6, and then hitting 7. We'll do that 4 times. So we have this. Then we come back to 6, 8. Little vibrato, then 8, 6, 7 on the third string. Alright, so there, what we do after that, the last one, we're going to hit 6 to 8, some vibrato. Then we're going to go 8 to 6 on the second string to 7, back to 8 on the second to 7, slide down to 5. Alright, so it'll sound like this after the 8 vibrato. We'll catch 3 on the third string to 5 on the fourth string. Then you'll hear some double stops. He's going to play 5 to 3 and then 5, 5 on the fourth and third string. So the double stops will be on the third and second string. Then he's going to come back on the third and second string from 3 to 5 to 3, landing on 4 on the fourth string. Then you'll hear him grab the 5th fret of the third string, bend up 4 times with a release, and then 5, 3 on the third string, 5, 3 on the fourth string. Then we're going to go walk down 5, 4, 3 to 1 on the 5th string, and end up on the 3rd fret of the 6th string. Alright, so that last measure with the double stops, 1, 2, 3, 4. Then he takes off from there. Okay, we're going to go right through the scale. We're going to be on the first fret of the 6th string to the 3rd fret. On the 5th string, we'll go 1, 3, 5. Then we'll go 3, 5 on the 4th string to 3, 5, slid up to 7 on the 3rd. And we'll catch 8 twice. Then we're going to go to the 6th fret of the 2nd string, back to 8 twice. Alright, so we have this. We're going to catch the 6 on the first string to 8 twice again. Then we'll go 6 on the first string to 8, bend up, and then 6 unbend. 8 twice on the second string to 6. 7 on the third, slid back to 5, and then hitting 3. Alright, so the whole last measure, 1, 2, 3, 4. So the last measure of the outro solo, again, things are fading out. You'll hear them pull off on the third string with the 5th fret, bend up, and then 3, and then 5 on the 4th string. You'll do that 4 times. Then we go 3 on the 3rd string to 5 on the 4th, and 3, 5, 3 on that 4th. Then we're going to go to the 5th string, 5 to 1, and then we're going to grab 5, pull down 3 times. And again, it's fading out as you hear that. So that's the last part of the solo that I figured out. So I hope that helps everybody. Again, my notes are linked below. Use riff station, slow it down, work on it. If I can play it, you can. Enjoy.